So we're going to talk to you a little bit about, how you transport your boat from one place to another. Obviously, it's got to go in your car somehow, and the easiest way for most people, unless you have a truck, is to put it on the top. And there's a couple different options. First of all, a lot of cars these days come with some sort of factory rack. And what you're looking for is just something that is on the top of your car that looks like it could support a boat. Usually it'll have a long piece going lengthwise of your car and then some sort of crossbar. And the only thing you want to check with that is just read the information and make sure that it can support the weight of the number of kayaks that you're putting up there. A lot of those things have maximum weight amounts. And the next step is to actually go ahead and get an aftermarket rack. There's several companies that make these, and they come in lots of different options. The most basic is just the crossbar, which attaches to your car somehow. And then you can get stackers, and you can go all the way up to actually getting types of cradles that cradle your boat. But the most basic and easiest function for me anyways is just to get the crossbars with the stackers. And the stackers are nice because it allows you to set the boats on its side and you can fit more of them up there. You can load either 2 people, 1 on each end, or you just grab it and lift it on up there. So you can see you just place it vertical, and you want to get it balanced so that it doesn't fall back on you. So you can kind of lean it in a little bit. You'll push it in later. And one helpful hint is to make sure you empty all the water out of your kayak before you pick it up over your head and load it on the roof. It'll save you some unpleasantness later. So you got one boat up here. And usually you have more than one boat. And what I like to do is actually start with the first boat, the hull facing the stackers, and then I'll take the next one and actually swap the direction. So you see how this one is bow first. I'm going to put the second one up there, bow backwards, and I'll put them cockpit to cockpit. And then you just roll this thing on up there. And the reason I like to do it like that is mostly because it makes a little more aerodynamic package, and it makes the boats ride better up there if you put them cockpit to cockpit, hull to hull, and you have the ends swapped like that. It's pretty nice. So the next thing you want to do is just make sure it's not going to fall on you. You can either have a hand on it or get a partner. And then I've got ropes, so I'm just going to swing these things up and around. And there's a couple different methods you can use to tie these on. We're going to talk about ropes right now, and then we'll talk about straps later. If you are going to use ropes, you want to make sure that they're strong enough, not like tinsel twine. You want to go to your local store and get some good solid rope that's going to hold this stuff on there. Remember, this is a big object. You're going to be driving at 70 miles an hour on the interstate. You don't want your rope to break. Okay, so the next thing is we're actually going to tie this thing on here, and I'm going to show you a pretty cool knot that I use all the time. It's called a trucker's hitch. Okay, you're just going to reach up above your head really as high as you can reach, and you're just going to twist this rope a couple times, 2 or 3, so you make a little loop like that. And you notice I've got the loose end is still down, and what I'm going to do is reach through this loop, grab the loose end of the rope, and just make a second loop like that. Okay, and that's going to be kind of my point of tension, what I'm going to use to tie this on there. And then I'm going to take the loose end while maintaining the loop. I'm going to wrap it around the rack. If you're going around the crossbar, make sure you go inside of the tower, and that will be all the way in here so that it doesn't slide off the end. If you just go down and around like this can move around out here, and it creates a little bit of a safety problem. If you do have to do this because of the number of boats you have, make sure that you wrap it twice, and that creates tension to keep it there. But I like to go around the inside of the tower. Okay, so you're going to go around the inside of the tower with that loose end. You still got your loop up here. You're going to get all the way down to the end of the rope. You're going to bring that up and through the loop. Okay, and then take out the slack. So now you're ready to tie this thing on. What you're going to do is just kind of push in, make sure those boats are nice and snug, tighten it down, and here you're going to pull away from your boat a little bit with the loose end of the rope, and you're going to pinch right here. And what this does is keep you from losing tension, keeps the rope tight. And you're going to go around the bottom, and you see how this creates a little bit of a loop. You pull it back through, and you just tighten it up against the bottom of that first loop. And then you just do the same thing one more time. And that's a trucker's hitch with half hitches as the anchor. And then you can take your extra loop or rope and just loop it around the bar and tie it off so it stays out of the way. And then you do the same thing with the other side. And that should do it. And if you're really worried about it and you haven't tied boats in your car very often, you should also do what's called a bow line. And basically what you want to do then is just get a section of rope. You're going to loop it through the grab handles on the front of your boat, and you're going to run that thing down and underneath the front of your car. And all cars have, they use them for towing, they have little solid pieces down there. Most of them now are actually like little eyes, like they're actually something you could slip a rope through. And then that way you just secure the boats to your car, and that's just an extra measure that you can do. And be real careful with this. Don't take it for granted. Boats come off of cars all the time, and it's really scary when they do. So if you're a little nervous about ropes, you'll want to get straps, because those are actually much easier to deal with. So with straps, you actually want to get those on before you put your kayak up there. And you can see at the top of that stacker, there's a little hole where I can actually thread this strap through and get it like this. So I got the buckle in one hand and then the loose tail in the other. And I'm going to separate those out and just lay them off to the side. And you would do that as well with the front one before you put it up. You only do. And the next thing you do, same as before, you're just going to load this thing up there. Put it on its edge. And you can also put these things flat and just tie over top of them, but you can fit a lot more boats up there on your edge. Okay, got it on its edge. You're going to loop these straps up and over. Kind of adjust them. You'll have to pull probably on one end or the other. You want that buckle to kind of get up towards the top of your reach. You're going to take the loose end just before. And a little extra tip, if this lines up with one of these grab handles, you can just thread it through. It gives you a little bit of extra safety there. And then you're going to pass this again to the inside of the tower. And then you got your buckle. You just take the loose end, thread it up and through the buckle. And then you just give it a good solid pull down. And you should be able to make like a little bit of noise. Like when these are all tight and you click on it, it should be able to like hum, almost like a guitar string a little bit. If it doesn't, you probably want to tighten it down again a little bit. And then you would do the same thing for the front. And just another little tip with straps for you guys out there. I'm sure everybody's noticed this. If you just put them up there and you actually keep them flat, they hum. They make actually a lot of noise on the top of your car. So before you tie it all down, if you just twist both ends and get a little bit of a spiral in there, that keeps that from happening. Gives you a kind of a quiet, more pleasant ride down the highway. So that's loading boats. Again, be really careful with this. If you're unsure, go to a dealer, go to someone that's tied something on the top of a car, and when in doubt, put another strap on it.